Hello, I'm Dr. Travis Perry. Welcome to the Productivity Myth, my masterclass on why most financial professionals fail at time management and what to do about it. Today's agenda, I would love to give you several things that will really help you. First, my first goal is to make a big impact in the following ways. Number one, I'm going to show you how to become more productive at work so you can increase your profitability. And number three, have a more meaningful time outside of the office. If you choose to commit today and you stay until the end of this masterclass, I'm going to give you a bonus, the Financial Professional's Guide to Improving Work and Life Balance. And this class does have the capacity to change your life. I began as a financial advisor with State Farm, Northwestern Mutual, and eventually finished my degree at Brigham Young University and began my CFP program through the American College. While I enjoyed that, I met with so many couples and individuals. I found that a lot of couples had some issues around money and their relationship that I started to kind of niche in. That became my specialty. Well, while I was doing this, I also found that these same couples lacked time together, and they lacked the time to actually work on their financial situation. You, like these couples, probably started your career because you wanted to make great income, have a better relationship with your clients, and spend more time with your family. You began with these great intentions. However, I found out that, like many of you, we start off in this career because we want to make great income, have good relationship with our clients, and spend more time with our families. But a lot of this is just our good intentions. It turns out that many of us get caught up in a trap where we don't have any time left for our life. We got caught up in our career and we're unable to spend time with those we love and the areas like our hobbies and interests that we wanted to and anticipated. So Stephen Covey says this: how many on their deathbeds wished they spend more time at the office or watching TV or nowadays on our cell phones with our apps and everything else we have available to us? The answer is no one. Most productivity systems, even Covey's, start off with the ABC 1, 2, 3 kind of 4 quadrants. Where are we going to spend our time? What's important? What's not important? And this idea that time is money, so we need to be investing it and saving it and spending it in the right ways. There's a lot of productivity systems that are out there. Planners, but the list goes on. They all operate on the same type of principles that really only work in a static environment. What about us? What about people who tend to be overworking? We know the value of time. In fact, a lot of us as financial professionals and entrepreneurs see time as the most valuable asset that we have. But we lack the skills to manage it. And that makes it even more valuable. See, when I was working with those couples, I found that not only couples lack the time together, but so did I, and so do many of you. In fact, Financial Planning Association, a study in 2014 found that only 13% felt in complete control of their schedules, and more than 50% felt completely out of control. What this means? Well, 75% of us work more than 40 hours a week. And a third of us out there work more than 50 hours a week. How does this compare? Well, if we looked at the DSM-5 for what is considered a workaholic, those who are highly involved in work, neglect relationships, feel driven as a way of getting rid of guilt and avoiding depression, low levels of work enjoyment, well, 1 out of 10 adults in the United States would be considered workaholics according to these criteria, but 3 out of 10 financial professionals work more than 50 hours a week and meet these criteria. But workaholism is accepted by society and apparently our industry, because we're okay, especially as we're starting off, to be working hours beyond our capacity only for that dream. For that dream that is paved with good intentions. What are the biggest obstacles? Well, they found that most of us try doing too much. We have an administrative burden because of the rules and regulations that are so prevalent in our industry, but also procrastination. What is it for you? What's your biggest obstacle? Do you try to do too much? Do you try to be in two places at once? Do you not have an administrative system so that you can enjoy planning or working with people on their insurance or real estate or mortgages? What is it that is an issue for you? Or is it just that you procrastinate? You have blocks, beliefs, things that get stuck in your way so that you're not able to really utilize your time to its fullest. Most of us don't even have a system. Most financial professionals don't have a working time management system to speak of. So of course, if you're burning the midnight oil, then it's most likely because you're dealing with one of these three back here and you don't have a system to help you handle it. Michael Gerber, famous time management guru, said that if your business depends on you, you don't own a business, you have a job. And it's the worst job in the world because you're working for a lunatic. And that lunatic just might be you. If you're running on a broken system, then most likely you're the lunatic that you're working for. Who is it affecting? Well, you're most likely not spending quality time with your family if you're spending time at all because you're multitasking or you're trying to do additional things in the evening hours when you should be there with them. How's your health? Are you spending the time you want to be fit and active and energized so you can show up to work excited about your career that you've chosen? Or do you come in with back problems and high blood pressure? Are you overweight because you've neglected a lot of these areas, thinking I'm going to get to this, later in life, and it's just sneaking up on you? Is your life purposeful? Are you really doing what you love to do in your spare time? Or is work your spare time? Listen, I feel your pain. I was in a point where I was starting in this industry and I was doing fairly well, but I was overweight. I wasn't spending quality time with my family like I originally intended when I got into the industry back in 2002. And I also knew that I wasn't living my life completely purposefully, and I needed to make some changes. Well, that all happened, and my life came crashing down in actually a few years after I entered the financial services industry as a financial professional. And when my father passed away very suddenly, and this was in 2006, and it just really broke our family for a period of time. And I helped to try to pick up some of these pieces and helped my mom and other family members, and we helped each other. They helped me, and I realized that there was a deep-seated issue in my life that was keeping me from living my purpose, from being fit, from being financially secure, and really spending the quality time I wanted to with my family and the hobbies and things I like to do. So I made some changes. And I'm a father of 6 children, a husband to a beautiful and loving wife, who we have a fantastic relationship. And it's been over 15 years, almost 16 years at this point. And I love them like crazy. I spend a lot of time with them. We play, we serve, we do the things that I intended my life to be. It took my father passing away, though, for me to really see this vision and be able to change my life in huge ways. So I started my own company, Perry Wealth Coaching, and I thought that was what I was supposed to be doing, and that eventually morphed into what I'm doing today. But it got me outside of the working for a man, working for the company, and really doing my own thing. But as I was working with couples again, I found that a lot of them, again, still had these same issues. So what should I do? I read up about it. I read Michael Gerber's book, The E-Myth, Why Most Small Businesses Don't Work and What to Do About It. And I quoted Gerber earlier. But I also went out and said, okay, I'm going to get certified in how to help clients with their time management. So I got a certificate. And I worked with a guy who trained with Michael Gerber himself. So I'm essentially Michael Gerber's grandson, so to speak. And I know the system that Gerber taught. But I knew that I needed to make this part of my financial planning practice. I put it into place myself, and I started using this with my clients. However, most of the time, when couples had these issues, not only time, but their relationship, I realized there's a motivational factor. What's going on in their head? What is causing them to not really follow through with the plans that we've created for them after they spent thousands of dollars? And why aren't they putting these things into place? I went to conference after conference. I did several other coaching programs and finally just decided I would go back to school, not just for a certificate, but for a master's degree in psychology. That led to me completing my PhD in family and human development at age 36. I was fortunate to be able to get through this program and really develop a system that would not only help couples, but help financial planning services industry, financial professionals all over the country. And I've been speaking and teaching about that. But I've really had one big lesson. After all this research, after trying to figure out what is it that's stopping my own clients and what's stopping me, I've gone this exploration, this self-exploration to figure out what it is that's getting in, how I'm getting into my own way, what's blocking me. And really I've come up with it. I finally figured it out. Productivity alone is a total myth. It's almost a lie. In fact, it's propagated that if you could just be productive, that everything else will fit into place. But there's some major, major flaws. Not only are we creatures of habit, but we're creatures of our own thought patterns, as I learned in my human development and psychology programs. We're also relational creatures, and so we desire that relationship, the interpersonal and intrapersonal relationships, some more than others, but we don't want to be workaholics. And unfortunately, productivity a lot of times is sold so that we become workaholics. We need boundaries, we need systems, we need rules, and those things help to keep our time free. Otherwise, we feel unfulfilled with productivity alone and just checking off boxes and moving through the day. So 4 missing steps is what I really uncovered as I was trying to help couples. I really helped myself and wanted to share this with financial advisors. And so that's why I'm sharing this with you. My story is your story. My story is that I know how you feel. I know where you've been in the financial services industry as a life insurance agent, as a planner, as a wealth management advisor, as a coach, as a counselor. So there's really these main steps that are lost that help give direction, internal motivation, and boundaries so that you can not only be productive, but be balanced. So I'm going to teach you these 4 missing steps today, along with the idea of productivity and how that works. So I created the Make Time Productivity System, and through my PhD program, I evaluated that for effectiveness and found it to be effective for professionals, for couples, for the population at large. And I'm going to give you some of these reasons. But this is not just some whim. This isn't something that we came up with yesterday. This has been proven. I wrote an article about part of this in the Journal of Financial Planning's Practice Management Solutions magazine there, and I've been publishing academic articles featured in the magazine and been speaking about it all over the country at conferences, firms, webinars, radio shows, podcasts nationwide, but also international. As recent as just last month, I was in London speaking on these very principles. Here's the 5 steps we're going to cover. Number 1, values. Number 2, goals. 3, priorities. And of course, here's number 4, productivity. But again, alone, it's a total myth. It creates workaholism, being unfulfilled, and doesn't really give you that sense of achievement and makes you essentially a workaholic, as we discussed. But step 5 is accountability. We're going to go through these 5 steps today in the rest of this masterclass. And I really want you to take great notes and really ask yourself how well you're living either one of these steps, because I believe that if you can really do that, if you can really dig down deep and find out how you're doing in these areas, most likely it's a breakdown of one of these steps that are causing you to have the issues that you're facing right now of not being productive and not having that work-life balance that you desire. So step 1, values. Productivity is a myth without direction. If you don't have values, then you can be spinning your wheels, essentially spinning your boat around and around in a lake. Doesn't make you productive from one end to the other. Yeah, you're working a lot, but you're sure not getting anywhere. And that's what values are going to help correct. In order to have a solid direction, it's vital to understand your own values. See, values are those principles that you know to be true, in this case about you, that guide your life. They give you the direction and internal motivation that's needed to achieve future goals that you set. We're going to connect this to goals in just a second. But this is it. Values, as you uncover and discover them, for the very first time, as you write these out, as you complete the exercises that I help people with, they start to really understand what is motivating them, what is guiding them. They don't need to go to Tony Robbins or other seminars all the time to know what is keeping them going forward, achieving the things that they want to be achieving. They don't need the external motivators all the time. Granted, we all need an external motivator from time to time, but day to day, you've got to be operating at your fullest internal motivator, or else you're going to burn out. So, values are discovered through self-reflection. I have several helps to this that I'll explain in a second, but in the coaching that I do, in the consulting that I do for companies, in the coaching I do for individual financial advisors and entrepreneurs and other financial professionals, I help you go through a process that allows you to reflect. Now, I had to reflect because of my father and his life, and I wrote his obituary, and I learned about my father's life from a different point of view, and that really changed my life. It made me snap out of the things I was doing wrong and establish these sets of values that I could then use. You need to be focused thinking about each area of your life and what you want to become, not just what you want to do, not just achievements or accomplishments, but who do you really want to become? Brian Tracy said the act of taking the first step is what separates winners from the losers. If you do just this one step of reflecting on your values in all 10 areas of your life, you will be far greater as far as productivity is concerned than ever before, because you will be focused. You'll have clarity. You will have direction that you never had in your life. So I include, again, if you stick around, I include some articles and some helps in the Financial Professional's Guide to Improving Work and Life Balance. And the first one I include is this PDF download of 5 tips for spending more meaningful time with your family. If you value your family, you value your relationships with family, how big, how small, regardless, you will figure out things to do. Time to spend with them is so important. So I put together this little guide that you can read through and get some ideas from and some things to do with them to have that meaningful time. And I know that most people, when they go through this values exercise that I share with them in the coaching and the consulting that I do, family time is usually one of the top 3 priorities in their life that they value. So of course this makes a lot of sense. Number 2, goals. Setting values-based goals helps you to take action in the right direction. You don't have to just be thinking about and metaphorically dreaming about the things you want to do or who you want to become. You can actually set those goals or the actions that'll take you in the right direction. And that is so important. A lot of people don't set goals because of previous experiences with goals where they've set goals and they failed, etc. Or they don't set goals based on their values. And so it might take them into a different direction. And they start to feel stressed. And they realize that a lot of their goal setting was based on external motivators. Well, I can tell you this. Financial professionals who have clear goals have more control in their life. It's found to be true according to the FPA study 2014. You will have better control of your life and clarity if you can take and make goals that are based in your values, not just what your managers or your coworkers or even your family expects you to do. But if it comes internally, then you will be motivated to achieve those goals. Goals are built on values, become a clear direction for you in your life, and you can start building one after another. I set the goal to be an international speaker. I didn't know it would happen in the very first year of me just trying and getting out there, having all expense paid trip to Europe to speak to a conference and speak to financial professionals about these principles. I didn't know that I'd be able to have a 6-figure income in 6 months starting my business. I set that goal, but I hit it. It was because I have these internal motivators that are driving me to be the person that I've become today. Do you have personal and business goals? Do you? And are they based in your values? Again, most fail to do this very simple thing because of expectations, external motivators. But even if you do have personal business goals, a lot of those are financial related. You're a financial professional or entrepreneur, so a lot of it is, well, if I can get this much money, then I can do these things. The reality is you need to have goals in all 10 areas of your life. Otherwise, it'll be the money and it'll be that driver, and it'll be an excuse all the way to the end of your career. A lot of people, again, excuses, they have these, and everyone does, but I set those already, I tried it, it doesn't work. Of course, because you weren't based in values. But understanding your values will allow your goals to really just appear in your life, and it'll allow you to live your values and thus achieve your goals. They go hand in hand. I can't emphasize this point enough. We talked about how most people set goals the wrong way, but here's a guy, Brian. He was aligning his values with his goals and allowed him to land his dream job. And he was working, in financial services, and that's how we met. Great guy. A foundation that he has built with his wife about their values has changed their life, has changed their health, have changed their relationship, and everything, not just financially, in their life has changed in so much that their family members have come to me to help them to see the same results that they're experiencing because they've seen what's happened with Brian and his wife. Number 3, priorities. Now, here's the guy who's bouncing all the plates. People think of time management. It's spinning every plate, not letting the balls drop, or whatever metaphor you want to use. But the reality is you don't have to balance. Don't try to balance. I used to stand on a balance board and juggle to show how ridiculous that balance, work-life balance really was. And while that's something I'm teaching today is work-life balance, most people have a flawed understanding of work-life balance is. It's not doing everything. It's saying no to a lot of things and saying yes to those things of highest priority. If you prioritize your goals and your time, then you can live your values, live your goals, because your time is set for you to do that, and you manage your highest priorities. You outsource. You have others hired or systems in place to do those things that don't make the most money. Well, why don't you do the same thing in your priorities in life? Why are you doing those things of least priority? Well, it's because I need to. Probably not. As I've coached people for years now, I've found that most people have this false notion of balance. And once they set priorities for their goals that are clearly based in their values, it's just about the time. But most have never actually physically organized their goals, let alone written them down. Yay, write them down. That's step 1. But until you have the discipline to sit down and do this, until you actually spend the time to organize your goals and your thoughts and get really clear values that you can then put to paper and put into a time management system, it's not going to work and you will not have success. You need to create an ideal calendar. This ideal calendar will be the key and is the key to effective time management so that you can live these priorities. Well, what's an ideal calendar? Well, obviously it's ideal. It's something that you would hope that you could live every week, every month, so that you don't have issue with not doing your top priorities, that you can do your top priorities every single week and know that you're doing and becoming that person that you've physically set out to become. So how do you do this? Well, I include the steps, as we don't have time to go over that right now today. But in an article that I wrote for FPA, as I mentioned before, I write articles and do academic research and have done in the past. I have this article called Restoring Work-Life Balance. It was printed in 2006. It's no longer in print, but I have a copy of this as the author, and I'm going to give that to you as part of the Financial Professional's Guide to Improving Work-Life Balance. And it'll outline the steps that you need to do. There's really 3 main steps to creating this ideal calendar. If you did nothing else than create this ideal calendar and you try to figure out how to get your values and goals into that calendar, you'd be so better off because you'd be able to then prioritize and actually live the time that you described. All right, now we're finally to productivity. You can see that if you don't have steps 1, 2, and 3, if you just are productive, that you'll just continue to work and you'll continue to flow, but you will never really create these boundaries that gives your life time. The whole point of the ideal calendar is to stop wasting time and to use your time most efficiently so that you have time to do those things outside of work. So inside of work, productivity, it's not the magic pill, as we already discussed, but it has 2 main components, and they're very, very important to understand that they're different, but they're both part of this productivity system. Number 1 is organization. I used to spend days helping financial advisors, other entrepreneurs, basically organize their office. They'd pay me thousands of dollars to come in, and I would organize their office. I would organize their files. I'd pull everything out of the boxes and in their drawers, and I'd help them to realize that they needed to be organized, and I'd give them the system to put it back together. Well, that's part of the productivity system that I teach, is this organization. And I teach you how to do that in our coaching and our consulting. But you need to get rid of anything. In short, get rid of anything and all distractions and minimize what we call contact points. Contact points are where things build up, and they basically gather in big piles of stuff on your desk, in your pockets or in your bags or in your car. Maybe it's in your file cabinets or on your assistant's desk or her file cabinets or his file cabinet, whatever. You need to minimize these contact points and have physical locations for information in an organized fashion. Most of us are digital with just about everything. And I help you to become paperless and as digital as humanly possible through this organization part of productivity. This is key. Now, what a lot of people do, unfortunately, though, is they get all organized and they had me in there for 2 days and they're all excited, but then 3 months later I came back and only to find out that they were back to being unorganized. It's because they didn't process. This is something that we teach that all time management professionals I've ever come across teach in some form or fashion. I've streamlined this and made it efficient for financial advisors because I know your life. I know what you do. I know how you deal with your clients and how you do your research and the systems that you build in place, even as a real estate agent, mortgage agent, life insurance person, salesperson, that you are going through these processes. If you don't have processing, then you will binge and purge. You will get organized one day, and then after a few weeks, you'll be back to where you were before. So if you don't have processing, the step-by-step rules to follow to keep everything organized. I don't have time to explain it all here in the masterclass, but I do this part of my coaching and consulting for those that are interested. I give you this step-by-step process. I teach you how to get organized so that you can have a productive work life. But remember, alone, this is not sufficient, but so much of this is taught as the thing, and everybody wants it. Well, give me productivity. Of course, we're going to give you productivity through our coaching and consulting and online courses and things that we have, but not without the first 3 steps. See, I had a friend, Jeff, who saw 1,000% plus of increase in mortgage loans in 1 month. 1 month. And I worked with him and helped him to become, organized and taught him how to process. And he looked at me at the end and said, Travis, you know what? I have this crazy urge that now I am so productive to just continue working. And I realized, yes, steps 1, 2, and 3 were definitely missing, and we needed to get to those. Otherwise, Jeff isn't going to equate any life change what he's done. He's just going to work 80 hours instead of being only productive in 60 of those 80. He's going to be productive in all 80. and he's going to neglect these other aspects of his life. He will burn out. He will most likely damage relationships and be left with a fantastic business that's doing great, but he won't be fulfilled. He will be the workaholic that I'm trying to help get back their balance in their life. So he said, I found myself wanting to work the same hours and not go home now that I am so much more productive. And that is the problem with doing productivity alone. Step 5 is accountability. And this is where a lot of coaches teach. They'll teach you step 4, productivity, and then they'll teach step 5, accountability. Hey, I'm here for you the rest of your life to make sure you stay accountable. And that's fantastic. Get that kind of help. I have a coach. I have several coaches who've helped me throughout my career, but accountability can be built in. It can be an internal system. You see, what I've learned through coaching is that accountability is often overlooked. But when I have a coach and when I'm doing coaching for others, this is the one thing after we teach them the system that is so valuable. So I sat here wondering, how could I help people without having to be there forever for them? I was coaching, a couple about a year and a half, and I realized this is a little much. There should be a better way to do this. And in my PhD program, I figured it out. I tested it as part of my system and found that as couples can help each other, as they become each other's accountability partner, not just, hey, we're going to see each other once in a while and we're going to have a romantic relationship and we're going to be parents together, but I'm going to actually help you to be productive so you can stay productive at work and so that you can get the goals done that you have in your own personal life, and vice versa. They'd help each other. This accountability partner is a must. Now, if you're married, you have that built in. If you're not married, I can teach you how to find and create and have a great relationship with possibly a family member, a co-worker, someone who's on a level playing field with you to be this accountability partner. But most of the time, the spouse is the right one to do that. Now, business coaches, as I mentioned, want to train you and coach you forever. That's the model. But again, if you can have your accountability partner who's built in, who better? Who knows you better than a loving spouse? Now, this is where a lot of people, I don't see my spouse being ever able to help me with this. Well, I have a family relations PhD, and I created this program because I know it works. And I've worked with couples all over the spectrum who have great relationships to those who are struggling with even having a relationship with each other. And so I know that this system works. And actually becoming a teammate like this oftentimes is the solution to a better relationship. So instead of thinking, well, Travis, I don't know if this will work for us, it is what you need. It will be what will help you to work together. In fact, I had a couple who came to me, one of the first couples that I took on as I came up with this process and was testing it. And so we went through the process together, and I found out that after engaging in the coaching that they had divorce papers on their counter ready to put in place because their relationship was at that point, and I had no idea. So it really caught me by surprise. As I was working with them, I found that it was the accountability. It was teaching them how to be each other's coach, to be each other's partner, to what they're supposed to be, that actually changed the relationship. 5 years later, after the coaching, I got back in touch with them and found out that not only had they gotten over these rough spots, but they actually created a business together helping other couples. What a testimonial to the work that was done through this system. Again, there's only one person who really cares about you and your time more than you do, and it's your spouse, your loving spouse. So I created a couple development program that would help couples to learn how to create time together, have better intimacy, manage their finances, get healthier, have better mental health. As you know, as people work together, they can develop. Personal development also has one major flaw. It's never personal. You can even go to the store and say, well, I'm going to get a self-help book. That self-help book is written by someone else who has knowledge from years of experience or study in a certain aspect of their field that's now giving that to you. Therefore, you're working because of their work. None of us is an island, right? None of us truly exist as an individual without any other reliance on someone else. We all work in systems. And that system that is the most effective is your marriage in helping you become that person that you value the most. So believe it or not, but couple development is what you should be doing. Personal development is good. Couple development allows you to increase that personal development by way more than you would have capacity to do on your own. So I've included in the Financial Professional's Guide to Improving Work-Life Balance this couple development ebook. It's an 80-plus page ebook full of this is what you need to do, not just a bunch of theory and, academic mumbo jumbo. It's actually a little bit of theory, a whole bunch of action, and here are the steps, and this is how you put it into play to help fix your relationship so that you and your spouse can work together as a couple team and that you can be a thriving marriage instead of just limping along. But I can tell you right now, you can do steps 1, 2, 3 and have a great introspective experience, get to 4 and start being more productive. But until you get to step 5, none of steps 1 through 4 are really going to stick. That's going to be a nice thing. It's going to be, thank you very much, Travis. That was helpful. But until you get to step 5 and really master that piece, it's not going to have long-lasting effects. What I tested in all of my tests with couples was this. Did couple development actually work with being productive? And yes, it did. In fact, Devin, he's an engineer, and he very much was not on the same page with he and his wife financially, but also a lot of areas of their life relationally, physically. There were a lot of things that were just off. And through the coaching, he said, getting us on the same page was by far the most helpful result of going through the program. I feel like we're working together as a team. They're doing phenomenal things now, and he's done great things in his career, and their relationship is healed from some things that happened a long, long time ago just because they started working together as a team. They got their finances in order. They got things in their life that are working for their benefit that they've seen great, great results from. All right, just a quick recap from this masterclass. Financial professionals, we need work-life balance. Productivity does not necessarily equal work-life balance. We have step 1, values. The key is direction and accountability, and the system will work if applied to these two ends, but you need to have those values first. Step 2, most time the reason it didn't work, your goals in step 2, is because there was no internal motivation coming from your values. In step 3, your priorities. Actually putting life's areas in a prioritized order based on their values will allow them to have a hierarchy of time. And you can have that ideal calendar then you can live that ideal calendar. Productivity in step 4 is having the right organization and processing system so you don't binge and purge in place is vital to productivity. But if you want any of these steps to last, you must have accountability. Teaching your spouse to become your accountability partner is the ultimate secret to work-life balance. It's worked for me. It's worked for a lot of the couples that I've worked with and hundreds of people that I've taught these systems to as I've taught courses, classes, online webinars. I've spoken all around the world now at this point as an international speaker and coach. These really 5 steps are what you need, and something in here that I've been able to teach you today, something, if you can just kind of hone in on even one thing out of all these 5 steps, will make a huge difference if you'll do what Brian Tracy said and just put it into action. And if you're not like what Michael Gerber describes as a lunatic trying to do this all on your own and not building a business with systems, then you can really have a fantastic work-life balance. Don't be like all those financial advisors that we've already mentioned that are working 50 plus hours a week and not taking these steps. Do it now. Start today. But let me ask you, have you enjoyed our time together so far? Have you found it valuable? Do you now feel ready to have more work-life balance? Have you come up with some good ideas you already feel excited about implementing in your business and your life? Is it fair to say that using these techniques would provide a significant impact on your time with your family or other areas of your life? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, you have some options at this point that I want to explain. Because these 5 steps alone will help you make more time for your family and the other aspects of your life despite your busy schedule. But what if there were another option that could speed up your progress? What if you really wanted to put these things into play and you wanted a transformation in your life? You're tired of dabbling with some of these things, but you'd really like another option. Do you think in that situation I could empower you with any and all resources at my disposal to stack the deck in favor to make success all but inevitable? If you've enjoyed the 40 minutes we've spent together thus far, I would say you're probably thinking, yes, yeah, even if we could spend a little bit of time together, and that's really what it would take. Going to the next level really does take some time. So, introducing to you the Make Time Discovery Call. The Make Time Discovery Call is all about helping you to improve your productivity, increase your income, so that you can have better work-life balance. I will help you on this Make Time Discovery Call, or a member of my team will help you to pinpoint the blocks that have inhibited you in the past from reaching these goals. Remember, the number 3 issue that financial professionals had in feeling control in their life was procrastination. We procrastinate because we have psychological blocks, mental beliefs, even financial blocks. As financial advisors, we're giving advice to everyone else, but a lot of us have financial issues and scripts and problems in our own life that don't allow us to move forward. And so you're kind of stuck in this old school mentality. I will, or a member of my team will help explain the 5 steps in more detail and how you can get your help in your most difficult roadblocks and issues. So if this was beneficial, imagine a one-on-one call where a member of my team will help you to uncover and discover those blocks that are probably holding you back. And most times I've found it's people that have had a block since their earliest recollections in their childhood, teenage life, as they were developing. In my PhD in human development, I examined all the main theories in human development and found that most of them had one thing in common, that if you don't develop in a certain way, if you don't naturally do something, it sticks with you. It sticks with you the rest of your life and can cause major problems. Likely that's happened for you financially. Likely the reason why you're in financial advising or counseling or coaching or helping people with real estate or mortgages or life insurance is because of a personal experience, something that's made you want to help other people to have a better financial life. Well, I can help you. A member of my team can help you to get the blueprints of the only proven time management system designed by myself, a family scientist, to help you improve productivity and income while decreasing your time at work. We'll give you a recommended course of action that would best fit your situation. So let me give you a brief example. Our Make Time Discovery Call with Michael was phenomenal. It's been one of my favorites thus far, and Michael was watching this very same presentation in a webinar form and scheduled his discovery call. And as I spoke with him, it was like years and years. He'd been in the industry for 30 plus years of him telling me about the struggles he's faced and trying to do them on his own and even getting help with several other counselors, coaches, mentors, but never actually getting at the core. In 40 minutes, we were able to discover it. And after that, Michael knew exactly what he needed to work on. Now, Michael became a client. You can see his testimonial on travisperry.com/coaching. On that tab, you can hear his halfway point discovery and then read his testimonial after he finished the program. Michael has seen some fantastic results, and it's because he's gone through this system that started out with a mere discovery call. 45 minutes. It was totally worth it. And if you listen to Michael and talk to him individually, he knows it was because of this discovery call that changed everything. Now, he didn't have to become a client. It just happened that we fit well together and we decided to work with each other. But for most people, just the discovery call alone is hands down one of the best coaching calls they've ever had in their life. Once we complete our call together, you'll have a complete roadmap. Not just uncover what it is that's causing you to have these limiting beliefs and financial mindset blocks, these roadblocks, but you'll be able to have a roadmap on how to be more productive, increase your income, create boundaries for your personal time, and to live a more purposeful life. We'll show that in detail to you once we've helped you discover what's blocking you. And upon completion, you'll be able to leap into action with a newfound sense of confidence, knowing how to create true work-life balance. Most attendees mentioned how valuable this call was for them, just like Michael, who, again, really enjoyed his experience. And over 30 plus years, he's never had any experience like it. I've had just calls the other day of people who didn't know what they didn't know, and not having the experience of looking from the outside to the inside of what's making them tick or what's causing them to be, set back, really is some of the best experience that they've had to that point. Now, I typically charge $500 for a session like this, and it's well worth your investment, even if you just had that conversation with me or a member of my team. However, if you act fast enough, you can get on a discovery call with me for free. We have limited slots and availability, so you need to jump onto call.travisperry.com, call.travisperry.com. We make this free, but we really only want to help those who are interested in taking action, not just those who are going to be clients. That's not it. We want to help people who are going to take action regardless of what they're able to do or the timing. We want people who are ready to say, yes, I'm committed to take action. We want you to walk away from the discovery call referring other people. We want you to be a raving fan from the very first moment you interact with us here at the Family Financial Institute, with my group, or with me personally. I want you to leave that call thinking, oh my goodness, I need to refer other people to Travis because of the value it gave me. I personally believe, and it is my business value, that if I provide that level of satisfaction from one call, then I will always be successful. And I will always have enough clients and income to fulfill the goals that I need to in my business and personal life. Recap of what you'll cover. We're going to help to pinpoint the blocks that have inhibited you in the past from reaching these goals. Explain the 5 steps to help get you past these difficult roadblocks and issues. Get the blueprints of the only proven time management system designed by a family scientist to help you improve productivity and income while decreasing your time at work, allowing you to spend more time for your personal and family life. And we'll recommend a course of action that would best fit your situation. The goal of the call, this Make Time Discovery call, is to help you discover what is stopping you so you can improve your productivity and work-life balance and have true balance. Again, I've mentioned this to you. Michael enjoyed this. So many of my other clients enjoy this, but it's guaranteed to be the best coaching call that you have ever had. Get started now with Make Time Discovery Call. Apply today. Again, spots are limited, and we want to be able to approve that application. You fill out just a couple of questions, and you let us know your information, and you press apply, and we'll go through and approve those applications as they come in so that you're then able to set an appointment time with a member of our team. Go to call.travisperry.com. Now here's the bonus. I promise you, if you stuck around and you got these 5 tips, that you'll be able to get these bonuses. And I've explained each one of them throughout the 5 tips for more meaningful time with your family, the couple development ebook, a free ebook that I've developed back in 2010 that we've put in place and have found it to be effective. And then the Restoring Work-Life Balance article that I published with FPA. I'll give you also the slides to this entire presentation so you can go through and have those 5 tips and learn from them again and again. All you've got to do is text the word time to 844-TIME-007. Yes, it's a James Bond play. I get it. I love it. 844-TIME-007. 844-846-3007. We'll send you the link. You can get it on your cell phone right away. Or if you're on a computer, you can go to FP Rewards. That stands for Financial Professional. FP Rewards.TravisPerry, P-A-R-R-Y. So fprewards.travisperry.com. Either way, text time to that 844-846-3007 number, or go to fprewards.travisperry.com. Go ahead, get started now with the Make Time Discovery call. Me or a member of my team will be there, and we will have a fantastic opportunity to chat with you, help you uncover all of these blocks, and get you in the right direction. It's been a pleasure to be with you on this masterclass. Again, I'm Dr. Travis Perry. Thanks for taking your time, and I hope it was helpful for you to be more productive in your life and to help you to be more balanced in your personal and business life. All the best to you. Remember, live life on purpose.